And finally, we get to the tags tools. And as you remember, while we were talking about the architectural tools, we talked about the tags on doors, the tags on windows, the tags on rooms, and so on. But I have dedicated these sessions to the tags. We're gonna have a review upon them. We're gonna add some new details and new explanations about tags that you may find them useful and practical. So as you are concerned, we know that the tags are some annotations that they help us to determine the elements or to give more information about them. And they just read the information about the value of the properties and then they display them for us in the scene. But note that the label on the tag must be associated to the parameters. Okay? And the another point here is that the tags are view specific. Okay? So when you use it in the level 2 plan view, they are only visible in that view. Okay? And you have to add the tags on the other views as well. Okay? So they are only visible in the current view because they are view specific elements. So, in order to add tags, we'll talk about the tags tools. Firstly, I click on tag by category, and afterwards, I want to click on an element to or object. Here, after placing tag on an element, watch this, if the used label in the tag is not associated with the parameter or the values that is specified, we got nothing. And as there is no value, we have to specify the value of the property. For instance, I have added this tag on the wall, but no value is shown for the associated label in the tag. Okay? So in order to check this out, I select the tag. Afterwards, edit family. I click on it to check the label parameter. Afterwards, I select the label, then from edit label, watch this, which is type mark. So, I want to specify a value for the type mark of the vowel, then I can display it in on the tag. Let's see, type mark, there is no value for type mark, so nothing is displayed on the tag. Whatever I type, it will be applied on the tag, as you can see. And some of the labels are being updated smartly, but some of them should be changed or modified manually. For example, for the walls, doors, or windows, some parameters like top constraints and base constraints or length, area, and volume, these are being updated smartly or automatically. If I open this and then I add the length and width by this way, I add length, or if I add the area as well, I check break to place them like this way, then I load it into the project. Watch this. Here we got these values that are can be updated. Watch this based on the changes in the projects. Look, if I move this, watch this, the area and the length are changing. But some of the labels like type mark, command, image, mark, and other identity data parameters, they must be modified manually. They cannot be changed automatically or smartly. And for instance, if I delete the value of type mark, watch this, we got no value, but we can double click on the tags to get access to the parameters names and then define the value here manually. Watch this. Look, and it is added into the edit type as well. Look, type mark is added into edit type. Again, I delete it like this way. And the opened value is shown when we got more than one parameter, okay? So if you got only one parameter, you can't get access to them. If I delete these labels and then I only keep type mark, then I get back to the project and overwrite the changes. If I double click on the tag As you can see, we cannot get access to the parameters, so we can only edit the value like this way. Check it out. And you are changing the type parameter. This could affect many elements. Continue. This is because that the used label has been associated to a type property, not instance. So when we specify a value, it is going to be applied on the other elements as well. So when we click on yes, it will be applied on the other types of the values since we have changed the type property. If I open the type edit family and then I change it to the instance properties like comment or mark that they are instance properties. Watch this, then I reload it like this. Then if I specify the value, we got no warning message since we have assigned the value for an instance property, not type property. So we have only changed the selected element, not the whole type. And note that we cannot specify similar values for type mark. For mark, since the mark's values are unique. So we specify 2 for it.